Happy Flash Friday. I'm Kal-Legro and welcome to Flashpoints, the show where I give you the key plot points of this week's episode of The Flash in under 5 minutes. Season 4, Episode 7 is entitled Therefore I Am, and it kind of acts as a flashback or origin story for the Thinker. It takes place in present day, but does contain flashbacks to the time period of the pilot episode of the series. It begins right where last week's episode left off, where Barry and Joe are interrogating Clifford DeVoe. They ask him if he has any connections to the metahumans we've already seen in this season, but the only one he could actually really think that he knows is Mina Shayton, who is Black Bison. After their interrogation, Barry still believes that Clifford is the guy they're looking for, so he goes to visit him again at the school where he teaches, and this causes Clifford and Marlise to file a formal complaint against Barry, and they obtain a restraining order, which comes into play later when they catch Barry in their house, thus getting Barry suspended. The flashback episode part of this episode is where you see that Clifford DeVoe is a uninspiring professor. People aren't very welcome or attuned to him, so he wants to find a way to harness his true brain capacity because he feels like he's not using it enough. So Marlise, his wife, who's known as the mechanic, creates a thinking cap for him to fully harness his brain capacity. However, the only way he could power it is by the particle accelerator explosion. So he goes there when the particle accelerator goes off with his thinking cap on and activates it. Unfortunately, this causes negative side effects, adverse side effects, and it speeds up his ALS. So Marlise then creates a chair to sustain his life. And then he kind of takes on this thinker persona, as you see in this picture. At the end of the episode, we see Barry meet with Clifford one last time, and Clifford reveals to himself who he really is and he tells him that he knows that Barry is the Flash. Barry goes and reports this back to Team Flash, and Cisco dubs DeVoe as the Thinker. We also see Wally return to Team Flash from Blue Valley. So this episode was pretty interesting because we got to find out what the Thinker's story really was, and it's kind of a sad one because he really wanted to do what he did so he could help people. It wasn't really for any bad purpose. So it's nice to see that he had a good side, but it ended up being bad. We don't really know what his motive yet is behind creating all these metahumans and using them against the Flash and collecting them. But eventually we'll find out. Next week's episode is part 3 of a 4-part crossover series featuring Supergirl, Arrow, and DC Legends of Tomorrow. And it's called Crisis on Earth X. So we'll be back next week to talk about that. But until next time, this has been Therefore I Am in a Flash. I'm your host, Kal-Legro. You can find me at BeerAndDejaVu on Twitter. Until next time, keep running towards your goals, and I'll see you in the future.